Hey, this is Warren from Honed by Jones, and I'm here in my workshop on a Friday afternoon, and I wanted to do a quick preview. It's not a review, it's not an unboxing, I'm going to call it a preview because I've just unboxed this machine and I'm setting it up for me, and I have not actually used it for knife sharpening yet. This is the Kalamazoo 1x42 1S MVP. If you follow Steven Sharpens on YouTube, he uses these machines. He's the one who inspired me to go ahead and purchase this. So I'm really just kind of copying his setup. Now, I made a video a few weeks ago where I talked about this machine, the Buck Tool 1x30 kind of combo low speed belt sander that spins at 1790 RPM. And I made a review of this, and I said I was going to use this machine. And I used it for a little while, and I actually like it, and it's worked totally fine. But I decided I wanted something with a little more access to the pulley wheels. So as you can see with this Buck Tool, the pulley wheels are very much covered up, and I could modify the machine, but decided I didn't want to go that route. I'm still going to use this machine, and I'll talk about that later. But first, I'm going to talk more about a little bit more about the Kalamazoo 1S MVP 1x42 sharpener. So let's swing back around. Excuse me. Let's swing back around to it. So I got it in the mail yesterday. I've started setting it up. And here's a few things that I'll tell you about this machine. One is it seems super well designed, very solid, very robust. The steel motor housing seems incredibly sturdy and stable and strong. The fan that's built into the side, very large and should be great for cooling. The on-off switch is right here. It's just a very simple toggle switch, on, off, doesn't reverse direction. It's currently set up for edge leading. So I'm going to use a Cliff Curry angle guide, I ordered an angle guide from Curry Custom Cutlery in Hawaii, and I'm going to mount that on here, using this machine edge leading. So it's going to be spinning towards me. Now, Steven Sharpens, who like I said, I'm kind of copying his way of using these machines. He does edge trailing. And one of the things he does is he uses this little box that is normally mounted surrounding this top pulley wheel. He puts a bunch of magnets on that little yellow box so he can catch a lot of the metal dust. I, on the other hand, will be using some kind of setup with this is where the work plate that comes with the machine, if you're not using it as a knife sharpener, if you're just using it as a belt sander, there's a work plate that comes out here, and I'm going to somehow mount something on this to get a magnet going over, or like a strong magnet going over the belt, so as it's spinning towards me, that'll catch a lot of the metal dust. And I'm already seeing all this space down here too, where I could use this area to mount some kind of magnets. So this 1S MVP unit is adjustable. They also have a model called the 1SM, which is not adjustable. That unit just goes straight vertical up and down. It doesn't adjust, the pulley arm does not adjust at all. This 1S MVP adjusts from 90-degree vertical to horizontal. Like I said, for the third time now, I'm copying Steven Sharpens in the way that he uses this machine, at least initially, in that I'm going to angle it back a little bit. He said that when he uses it in this position, it's really easy to see the burr and see the apex and the edge of the knife. And I tried it on one of my personal knives, and I agree with him that even if you're freehand sharpening, angling it back like this and having it set up like this makes it really easy to see what's going on. Now, I'm still going to use an angle guide, but I'll also have the option of freehand sharpening above that if I need to in any situations. When I got the machine, it had the standard platen on it, and I didn't modify it. I took the standard platen off and put on the knife sharpening platen. I think it's actually officially called the knife maker's platen, but I'm calling it the knife sharpening platen because that's how I'm going to use it. So I put it on incorrectly. I was able to call the company and then text with a technician. He told me how to install it correctly. So it was actually rubbing on the lower pulley wheel because I had installed it incorrectly, just lightly. And then the other thing that's going on is that there's no tracking adjustment on this machine. So it runs really nicely and smoothly. As you can hear, it tracks really nicely, but there's no tracking left to right adjustment on this machine. So what I'm going to have to do to get this lined up better with this platen is actually put a spacer or a washer here and maybe on the bottom pulley as well. I'm not sure, so that I can push the whole pulley, push both of the pulleys to the right a little bit, and this platen won't be moving anywhere. So as I push the pulleys out a little bit, that should get it to line up just right with that platen. So if you're not comfortable with doing a little adjustment like that, the other belt sander that I have, like the Buck Tool or the Harbor Freight that I have tracking adjustment machines tracking adjustment built into them, so you don't have to worry about that kind of thing. That shouldn't be any problem to take care of. It should just take me a few minutes. What else about this machine can I tell you? I think that's it. I will do, so like I said, I'm calling this a preview because it's not an unboxing because I already took it out of the box. Oh, I remember. I am going to replace this base plate. So this base plate, I think it's really low quality. And I think the only reason they bolted onto the machine is so that when this unit is being shipped, it doesn't move around in the shipping box at all. This base plate is exactly the same size as the inside of the bottom of the shipping box. And so I'm going to replace it with a much nicer piece of plywood, and then I'll put a handle on it as well, and I will also install rubber feet on the bottom of that nicer piece of plywood, just so that when I'm moving it in and out of my car, if I'm going to a farmer's market or something like that, it makes it much easier to move, and also it'll just look a lot nicer than the base plate that it comes with. So that's it. That's the Kalamazoo 1x42. I was actually leaning at first towards buying a Toolker 1x30, and I decided to go with this machine because I liked how simple it is and how robust it is. Yeah, I don't know if that was the right choice or not. I'll be able to give a better review of this machine after I've used it for a month or so. Right now, I've just unboxed it and set it up and kind of made a few quick adjustments. But I'll be able to give more of a review of what works well and what I feel doesn't work well after I've had it for a little while, and then I'll post that on YouTube as well. Okay, there we go. This is Warren from Honed by Jones. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Carson City, and it's time to get back to work. I just finished sharpening a reel mower, a push reel mower for a woman, and I've got to do a couple other things, and I got to get ready for an event. I'm sharpening at a Mother's Day plant sale tomorrow, so I'll be sharpening a lot of gardening tools. So I got to get everything packed up and ready for that. All right, Warren from Honed by Jones. Catch you on the flip side. Kalamazoo 1x42 1S NVP preview.